My name is Dr. Bremley Lyngdoh. I'm the founder and CEO of Worldview Impact Foundation, and I'm very happy to be here. I'll be speaking tomorrow morning in that booth, hosted by Development2030 and 8X. I'm very happy to be in Brussels.
So you've dedicated your life, it's safe to say, to the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals?
Yes, I'm very happy to see that we've got Football Fiesta here and that big circle where we've been shooting the ball. And the moment I got here, I shot the ball straight on climate action, having just come out of the Conference of Party number 26 or COP26. So I know we didn't reach what we wanted at Glasgow, but at least us who were there, we gotta stick to our goal number 13 and take climate action. If we do not take climate action at an individual level, none of those other 16 goals will be relevant. They will all collapse because climate change will take us all behind maybe by 20, 30 years. So goal number 13 is quite important. Coming out of the negotiations in Glasgow, the COP26, of course, we came out with a more watered down climate pact because India and China wanted the language to change in the text from phasing out coal to phasing down coal. So everybody was very unhappy because all countries wanted to phase out coal. It's the fossil fuel that is causing too much warming on our planet. But they did commit to stopping deforestation, 100 countries by 2030. So now we the people who put those leaders in office, presidents and prime ministers, we got to hold them accountable on what they have promised in Glasgow, or else nothing matters. Any politician can promise, but they are out of the office in 5 years or 4 years, another guy comes like Trump and then he withdraws the United States from the Paris Accord. I mean, what the hell? So I'm very grateful that Biden came, but he's the oldest president of the United States. I don't know whether he's going to win the next term or whether Trump's going to be back. So we got to prepare for the worst. So then it comes to citizens' action, just like you and me. Presidents and prime ministers and kings and queens can make promises on behalf of their countries and nations, but if the citizens do not act, it's all hot air, or hold them accountable. So that's why I'm here.
Too hot.
Too hot, yes. So we are doing our part. From our part, we have planted 27 million trees.
Oh, wow.
And my dream or my goal is like 1 billion trees before I die. Soon.
You have some time left then.
I don't know. Life is so unpredictable. And those billion trees will at least draw down 1 billion tons of carbon from our planet's atmosphere, and it'll be a legacy for generations to come. So we've planted in Myanmar, in India, in Bangladesh, bits of Africa and Latin America, but we can't plant those mangrove trees in 126 countries all around the equator to protect these small island states and high climate risk countries from floods and waves and hurricanes and tsunamis. And we can also recharge the fish stock because all the fish is dead. They've been trawled out of the oceans by big ships like from all over the world. So if we plant mangroves, we can get 50% more fish stock yield. So it creates jobs and livelihoods for poor fishermen communities. And each mangrove tree produces enough oxygen for 5 people. Especially in the COVID world, everybody's looking for oxygen, you know? So if we plant these trees, we gotta get more oxygen. And also it's the trees between land and sea. So you're taking climate action, but your life on land, number 14, and life on the water, 15 and 14. So when we plant mangrove trees, we can target 6 of those sustainable development goals. 1 tree for $1 and 6 goals.
Where to donate? Where can I donate?
Oh, you just go to EcoFriend World, ecofriend.world, and you can join our revolution to plant 1 billion trees around the world. But we must engage a lot of young people. I'm very glad that we have Isaac here. We need to engage the new generation to work, get their hands dirty and take climate action, whether they're on land or in the sea. We have like till 2030, right, our target, so we must take action now. If we don't, we will hit the tipping point of the planet and then it's too late. It may already be too late, but hey, if we do 1 billion trees every year, that means we can draw down 1 billion tons every year. But the planet needs to cool with 30 gigatons of carbon. So we need to draw down 30 gigatons every year to cool the planet down.
Is that doable?
It is with drones. With drones, seed planting, we have got tree planting drones that can do rapid fire of 100,000 trees a day. Just a few drones flying, firing these spots in places where it's too dangerous for people to go plant, like alligators and reptiles, maybe, or crocodiles, so you can't send people there in the swamps.
Okay.
The drones can do that. Or in very sharp, dangerous slopes where people can't go, you can send the drones. But that funding that governments have committed, 100 billion a year for developing countries, needs to be hitting the bank account now. They committed since Paris, but they have not delivered any of the 100 billion for developing countries. How will they take climate action? You know, promise has been made. Where's the money? Literally.
Put it on the table.
Exactly. So it's nice to pledge. Paris was about making promises. Glasgow was about delivery. They have to deliver now. I mean, we just came out of the conference. There were lots of people from Extinction Rebellion who were protesting in the streets. Greta was there with 100,000 young people in the streets of Glasgow marching. But I wish we can take that energy from the streets of Glasgow, 100,000 young people, to plant 100,000 trees in the Highlands of Scotland to rewild Scotland. So the trees in the Highlands can grow, protect the topsoil from being eroded, hold back flood waters to prevent flooding downstream, and then those 100,000 trees representing 100,000 young people in the streets will draw down 100,000 tons. What a powerful signal to send to leaders, right? They're not just marching and screaming and protesting, but they took climate action. As simple as that. Nature-based solutions are the best way that we can hit all those goals, because if our ecosystem collapses, we will not have air to breathe or food to eat or anything. So the base is life on land and life below water. This is the base for all the other goals. Without land and water, what are we gonna do? We can't eat, we can't drink, we're dead. We're not gonna wear Gucci clothes, that's not gonna feed you. We're not gonna wear Prada shoes, they're not gonna feed you. I mean, COVID-19 taught us what's the most important things in our life. And I think people have been able to reflect during the lockdown of priorities in their lives, what is important. It took one little virus to shut the whole planet down and reduce global emissions by 10%. Because no planes, no ships, no industries was releasing any carbon, and that brought the emissions down by 10% for the whole planet. It took one little virus to take climate action and dip the emissions of the whole planet by 10%. But we couldn't do anything for 25 years of talk, blah, 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 as Greta said. Sadly, we are melting our glaciers from the Arctic, the Antarctic, and also the Himalayas, which is the third largest body of fresh water on the planet after the Arctic and the Antarctic. And as these permafrost melts, all the viruses that have been frozen from the time of the dinosaurs are now being introduced into our water and food supplies. Imagine, they are much more deadly than COVID. We don't even know how to deal with them. And they are being reintroduced into our ecosystems from millions of years ago, frozen underneath the permafrost. Because our glaciers are melting, these crazy viruses are entering our oceans and our streams and maybe could reach our food. And it's happening now. Nobody's talking about it. So sadly, more pandemics are going to come as the planet heats up. That's a given. So are we not even prepared? We can't even deal with COVID, you know? So the planet is fine. It's going to wipe us humans out, basically. We will be extinct. Hence, Extinction Rebellion. So restore ecosystem.
But is it too late?
It's not. If every human being, 7 billion people on the planet, if each human just plants one tree, there will be 7 billion trees every year. But if they do 10 trees each, because in Europe, the way we live, we emit 10 tons a year. Just the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the energy, the supply, the demand, the consumption. So each of us, as a duty, we need to plant at least 10 trees each. You and me living in Europe. Americans need to do 20. Their footprint is slightly higher than us. And maybe the Africans 2 and the Indians 3. But they need to do it for their kids, for their grandkids, for generations to come, or else the planet is screwed for them. It's the generation before us, but we all need to take climate action together. It doesn't matter which generation, but they will suffer the most when we are gone. So we're the last generation to secure the balance in the planet, to restore the balance. And my dream is to do 1 billion before I die, I said, and I hope you can join forces and plant these mangrove trees, these miracle trees, to address those sustainable development goals that we've been talking about, that everybody's talking about, but we need to take action.
Okay, clear message. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Grazie.
Grazie mille.